Blockchain technology. Blockchain is very popular nowadays. But the question is, what is a blockchain? How does it work? How can it be used? And what problems does it solve? A blockchain is a chain of blocks that contains information. The blockchain technique was initially described in 1991. It was originally intended to timestamp digital documents so that it's impossible to backdate or tamper with them, almost like a notary. Although it mainly went unused until Satoshi Nakamoto adapted it in 2009 to create a digital cryptocurrency, Bitcoin. Blockchain is a distributed ledger that is entirely open to anyone. Once some data has been recorded inside a blockchain, it becomes tough to change it. They have an attractive property. We can say that. Now the question is, how does that work? Well, let's take a closer look at one block. Each block contains some data, the hash of the block and the hash of the previous block. For example, the Bitcoin blockchain stores the details about a transaction here, such as the sender, receiver, and the number of coins. The data stored inside a block depends on the type of the blockchain. A block also has a hash. You can compare a hash to a fingerprint. It identifies a block and it contains, and it's always unique, just as a fingerprint. Hash is calculated once the block is created. Changing something inside the block will cause the hash to change. So, in other words, hashes are very important when you want to detect changes to blocks. Block is no more the same once the fingerprint of a block changes. The third element inside each block is the previous block's hash, which effectively creates a chain of blocks. This technique makes a blockchain so secure. Let's take an example here. We have a chain of 3 blocks. As you can see, each block has a hash and the previous block's hash. So, block number 3 points to stop number 2 and number 2 points to number 1. Now the first block is a bit special. It cannot point to previous block because it's the first week. All this block that Genesis block. Now let's say that you tamper with the second block. This causes the hash of the block to change as well. In turn, that will make block 3 and all following blocks invalid because they no longer store a valid hash of the previous block. So, changing a single block will make all following blocks invalid, but using hashes is not enough to prevent tampering. Computers are high speed and can calculate hundreds of thousands of hashes per second. You would effectively recalculate other blocks' hashes to make your blockchain valid. So, to mitigate this, blockchains have something called proof of work. It's a mechanism that slows down the creation of new blocks. In Bitcoin's case, it takes about 10 minutes to calculate the required proof of work and add a new block to the chain. This mechanism makes it very hard to tamper with the blocks because if you tamper with one block, you need to recalculate the proof of work for all the following blocks. So, the security of a blockchain comes from its creative use of hashing and the proof of work mechanism. But there is one more way that blockchain secure itself, by being distributed. Instead of using a central entity to manage chain blockchains, use a pair network and everyone is allowed to join. When someone joins the network, he gets a full copy of the blockchain. The node can use this to verify that everything is still in order. Now, let's see what happens when someone creates a new block. That block is sent to everyone on the network. Each node then verifies the block to ensure it hasn't been tampered with, and if everything checks out, each node adds this block to its blockchain. All the nodes in this network create consensus. They agree about what blocks are valid and which aren't. Baxter tampered with will be rejected by other nodes in the network. So, to successfully tamper with the blockchain, you will need to fiddle with all the blocks on the chain. Redo the proof of work for each block and take control of more than 50% of the peer-to-peer network. Only then will your tampered block become accepted by everyone else. So, this is almost impossible to do. Blockchains are also constantly evolving. The creation of blockchain technology bids a lot of people's interest soon. Others realize this technology could be used for other things like storing medical records, creating a digital notary, or even collecting taxes. So now you know what a blockchain is, how it works on a basics level. and what problems it solves. So we can say blockchain technology is one of the best and most secure technology. Evolnetwork has launched evolcoin, virtual decentralized cryptocurrency, which is based on blockchain technology. For the smooth functioning of the affiliate marketing platform, visit www.evolnetwork.com and explore more.